Welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Age Inquisition with Fricksauce. We are currently in the hinterlands in Redcliffe, staring at Connor, the son of Arl Eamon, who I think at this point has passed away. So now, because Connor is a mage, he cannot hold lands or titles or inheritance, and so the Arl is now Tegan, Arl Eamon's brother, who we know from Dragon Age Origins and the second game, Dragon Age 2, for a brief cameo anyway. Now, in my playthroughs, I think I may have once, but generally I do not make Alistair a king. I think because he is a warden, that's kind of a conflict of interest. A warden needs to go do warden things, not be a king. So I guess in some sense I'm a little bit of a purist in that way. Now that does give them the political power to do even more, but you know, I was always very conflicted about that. I wanted him to go be a warden. So so in this playthrough, definitely the my female warden and Alistair
the fighting has been
stay wardens.
Here.
So I let, I usually let,
What did I tell you?
oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. Honora. I let Honora stay queen. Because she was already doing it, and, you know, I didn't think Alistair really wanted it or was fit for it necessarily.
Please, are you with the Inquisition? As you've wandered, have you by any chance seen a ram that is, different? Lord Wolseley wandered off, and he's very special. If you could find him, I'd be most grateful.
So, One-Eyed Jimmy and Lord Wolseley the Ram, it just sounds like a dirty joke. But moving on.
What makes your ram so special?
Well, he's always brought the family luck.
Okay, not moving on.
And his advice helped us make our fortune.
Your ram offered advice?
He's a very special ram.
Your ram has gone missing?
Yes. I'm certain that if he heard his Jimmy missed him, he'd come right back. He's likely at our family's old summer cabin. It's by the lake in the southern hills. If you do find him and send him back, I'd be happy to pay you.
I'll speak with you later.
If you find my ram, please send him home.
I like that there's mud on his sleeves. That's kind of a nice attention to detail.
Nice job in that last fight, Solus. You really kicked the crap out of that guy.
I suppose.
What? You don't think so? You ripped him a new one. It was great.
Unless the fight is personal, violence is a means to an end. It isn't appropriate to celebrate.
I don't know. Gotta wonder about anyone who fights as much as we do and doesn't have some fun with it.
We have fought living men, with loves and families. And all that they might have been is gone.
Yeah, but they were assholes.
Hero in every port, Ballad of Nuggins. Oh, the best of us ran when the dreadnought was sighted. Nuggins, Nuggins, for he heard the call. Tripped 9 Kunari, and that's why he's knighted. Nuggins, Nuggins, as brave as he's small. Oh, a shore full of pirates, the worst set to happen. Nuggins, Nuggins, his heart pure and true, tripped him an admiral, now he's our captain. Nuggins, Nuggins, for me and for you. Oh, the blight was upon us and we found no pardon. Nuggins, Nuggins, how he'll make a stand. Tripped up the darkspawn and now he's a warden. Nuggins, Nuggins, for all in the land. Oh, paraded through Kirkwall as hero and winner. Nuggins, Nuggins, stubborn and vicious. Tripped up a viscount. Now he's for dinner. Nuggins, Nuggins, of course he's delicious. From Small Legends of Nugs and Foxes, collected by Philium, a bard. We remember Philium, don't we?
I talked to one of the rebel mages, and she said it sounded like the dream she had before the magic took her.
I don't want you talking to the rebel.
Have you heard?
Good day.
I think someone's in denial about her son.
Templars. They've been driven away or killed.
See? What did I tell you?
Oh, I need this statue in the name of the Inquisition.
Refugees killed by Templars driven past the point of reason.
Good day.
Hero for Reldon.
Are you sure? Maker, I hope it's not me.
Definitely need to bring back a rogue. And I knew that was going to happen when I tried to carry mages, that there'd be places I'd have to come back to carrying specialists. Oh, hello, darling.
Too many people dying for want of simple herbs. My apologies. Can I help you?
There are refugees at the crossroads who would benefit from a healer.
Of course they would. These attacks by the Templars have endangered countless innocent lives. But if I go to the crossroads to help, I might end up in danger myself. I doubt those refugees would risk their lives for a knife here. Why should I risk mine for them?
Save yourself, and all the villagers will remember is that you hid, even though they did the same. If you help the refugees, they may not love you, but they will hold their tongues before calling you knife ear.
All right. If the Inquisition soldiers are there, I might be safer regardless. I'll see you at the crossroads soon. Just give me a moment to gather my things.
Yay! Sometimes you just gotta have the right person to talk them into it.
May I help you?
Are you running short of healing herbs?
Yes. We've many injured from attacks by those cursed Templars. I need the herbs to treat people's wounds. It's too dangerous to go hunting through the hills to gather more. I've a list there of the herbs I need.
Goodbye.
Stay safe out there.
And the quests keep on coming. Okay, let's see.
You sure?
I know there's some merchants over here. Oh, this place is crowded.
Supplies, your word?
Yes, thank you so much. Ooh. Masterwork Scout Armor. Oh, okay, that'll work.
The merchants coming in now say there are countless bodies lying. Is there something you need?
What, you didn't want me to say it, do you? Would you hate me that much if I were a mage?
My boy, no.
Greetings, traveler.
Hello.
Of course.
Would that I could.
Would that I could. Look, it's a little Elfruit alcove.
May I be with you?
Oh, hello.
They say Andraste sent you to save the world.
Sure, why not?
If it'll help save lives and bring peace, I'll be the first to believe.
I'll do my best.
I don't have to worry about you falling at my feet in worship, then. That has been tiresome.
I believe we must each attend to our own lives to find salvation.
Are you working for the Mage Rebellion?
Mages are children of the Maker, no less than the rest of us. They struggle no less with questions of faith.
Does that mean you support their freedom?
Given a choice between the Circle and death, most mages willingly gave up some small freedoms for safety. But the pendulum swings, and now it seems any restraint is too much. I think they should have a chance to prove they deserve freedom.
I don't see any other priests in the village.
You don't?
Where is everybody?
Didn't we just pass a whole bunch
The
of them back
Magister
there?
had the others escorted out for their own safety, but I refused. He can throw me out if he wants. Until then, I tend to my flock.
What are your feelings on the mages working with Tevinter?
The Imperium burned Andraste. Since then, we have led 4 exalted marches against them. Yet in all those marches, they still acknowledged the Maker. Now I speak of him and the Magisters laugh. Something has happened and I dread to learn what.
I will leave you to your duties.
Make us speed you, my child.
Tanner.
I am Sister Tanner. May I help you?
I found the letter you sent a Templar named Corin.
What? Shit. You can't prove anything. A letter from a rogue Templar. Nobody is going to care. So, what do you intend to do?
I guess nothing for now.
Nothing.
Fine. Go.
I'll be back. I don't remember why I'll be back, but I'll be back. And I think you can actually get to that castle. You have to defeat the hinterland's dragon, but there's a way to get to that castle form. And it is just that, a form. But you don't need me to do that. There are plenty of YouTube channels out there who get to that.
Good day.
I think it's a long, drawn-out process. Okay, let's see what's in here. Give a bit of a save. Here we go.
Welcome, agents of the Inquisition. First Enchanter Vivienne?
My dear Fiona, it's been so long since we last spoke. You look dreadful. Are you sleeping well?
She's terrible.
What has brought you to Redcliffe?
I like that she just ignores her, which is, I think, the only thing you can do with a person like Vivienne. With the quips, anyway.
Is this some sort of test? We're here because you invited us in Val Royeaux.
You must be mistaken. I haven't been to Val Royeaux since before the Conclave.
There is no mistake. While the Templars were leaving, you came to Val Royeaux and asked me here.
The Templars left Val Royeaux? Where did they go? That sounds... Why does that sound so strange? Whoever or whatever brought you here, the situation has changed. The Free Mages have already pledged themselves to the service of the Tevinter Imperium.
This right here is why you can't trust mages.
Fiona, dear, your dementia is showing.
I understand that you are afraid, but you deserve better than slavery to Tevinter.
As one indentured to a Magister, I no longer have the authority to negotiate with you.
What about the giant hole in the veil that's spewing demons everywhere? You're just going to pretend it isn't there?
I am not forgetting the breach, but we can only fight one war at a time. The Templar threat was immediate. If we live, we can worry about the torn veil.
Welcome, my friends. I apologize for not greeting you earlier.
Nice hat.
Agents of the Inquisition.
Actually, it's not a nice hat.
Magister
It's really rather ridiculous.
The Southern Mages are under my command. And you are the survivor, yes? The one from the Fade? Interesting.
I haven't seen any sign of Redcliffe's Arl or his men.
The Arl of Redcliffe left the village. There were tensions growing. I did not want an incident.
I'd like to know more about this alliance between the rebel mages and the Imperium.
Certainly. What specifically do you wish to know?
The Grand Enchanter told me she was indentured to a Magister.
Our Southern brethren have no legal status in the Imperium. As they were not born citizens of Tevinter, they must work for a period of 10 years before gaining full rights. As their protector, I shall oversee their work for the Imperium.
I'm not clear on when exactly you negotiated this arrangement with Fiona.
When the Conclave was destroyed, these poor souls faced the brutality of the Templars, who rushed to attack them. It could only be through divine providence that I arrived when I did.
It was certainly very timely.
What does the
And he still
Imperium
didn't answer
gain
the
from
question of
taking rebel
when.
mages under its wing?
For the moment, the Southern Mages are a considerable expense. After they are properly trained, they will join our legion.
You said not all my people would be military. There are children, those not suited.
And one day I'm sure they will all be productive citizens of the Imperium when their debts are paid.
If you're leading the mages now, then let's talk. I'm sure we can come to an arrangement.
It is always a pleasure to meet a reasonable woman. Felix, would you send for a scribe, please? Pardon my manners. My son Felix, friends. I'm not surprised you're here. Containing the breach is not a feat that many could even attempt. There is no telling how many mages would be needed for such an endeavor. Ambitious, indeed.
Does that mean you'll lend your mages to our cause?
There will have to be. Felix.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive my clumsiness, my lady.
Are you all right?
I'm fine, Father.
Come, I'll get your powders. Please excuse me, friends. We will have to continue this another time. Fiona, I require your assistance back at the castle.
I don't mean to trouble everyone.
I shall send word to the Inquisition. We will conclude this business at a later date.
Come to the Chantry. You are in danger.
The Magister's son dropped that. Be cautious, Inquisitor. Family name is everything in Tevinter.
We'll be careful, but we need to figure out what's going on here.
We don't need your kind here. Your
Chill,
Inquisition's
dip.
just Templars by another name.
Who are you?
Linnea. Just Linnea. Don't ask what Circle Tower I'm from, because we're done with that. We're all free mages now.
You'd rather bow to Tevinter than join the Inquisition.
Don't tell me you bought the Chantry's lies about how evil Tevinter is. It's just because they're ruled by mages. No one wants us to look at them and say their mages are free and the world hasn't ended.
Tevinter's as big a threat as the Templars. You're better off with the Inquisition.
Right. And I'm the Empress of Orlais.
No, you're just Linnae.
Magister Alexius wishes only mages to remain in Redcliffe. He will approve of you. He does not approve of me. Many villagers have already left to escape his ire.
What does the Magister have against you?
He does not like to be reminded of what mages can become. He says all Tranquil must leave Redcliffe, but who would take us in?
I would think they would still be valuable, even in Tevinter, because they can enchant things. I thought they were more capable of enchanting when they were cut off from the Fate. I thought that was part of the lore.
You're one of the Tranquil.
Yes, my talent for magic was insufficient to protect me from demons. Rather than risk me becoming possessed, the Circle removed my connection to the Fade. My magic is gone, along with my dreams and desires. Those now in Redcliffe prefer not to see us.
How long have the Tevinters been here?
Magister Alexius arrived at nightfall, 2 days after we retreated from the Temple of Sacred Ashes. He forced anyone without magic out of the castle, save those he required to serve him. Even the Arl was sent away.
Farewell, then.
One moment. You are a member of the Inquisition, are you not? I am an alchemist. You must require potions. If the Magister will not have me here, perhaps I can offer my services.
We would be delighted to have you working for the Inquisition.
Thank you. While one lives, it is good to believe there is still a use for one's talents. The Inquisition, back again. Perhaps I can be of use.
What does the Magister have against you?
He does not like to be reminded of what mages can become. He says all Tranquil must leave Redcliffe, but who would take us in?
Farewell, then.
Farewell.
Crows and Queen Madrigal. The first crow refused to speak even when we put hot coals to the soles of his feet and peeled the skin off his face and hands with a paring knife. He opted instead to chew through his own tongue and choke to death on the blood. The second captive repeated what we already knew. Queen Madrigal went on a hunt and did not appear for the evening's festivities. Her body was later found with 4 steel swords through the chest. I asked what he knew about one of the 4 swords being a replica of Hezarian's Sword of Mercy. He had not heard about that, or at least claimed as much. He later died on the rack, smiling slightly. The third crow must have realized he would not leave the dungeon alive. He seemed to hope that by angering Master Fiore, he would earn himself a quick death. The crow tried our patience with pithy comments while Master Fiore was trying to work. At one point he made a remark about Fiore's mother, which I shall not repeat here. I will admit to feeling admiration for his ability to retain a capacity for coherent speech, and even some wit, while under extreme duress. Amid all his useless chatter, this third crow did raise an important point. His guild has a reputation to uphold. They are ruthless, efficient, and discreet. How would they maintain such notoriety if agents routinely revealed the names of employers with something as banal as torture? This gave me pause. I called for a halt to the session. After some thought, I stabbed the man through the heart and set the 4th and 5th crow captives free. If there is a confession to be extracted, it will not be done with pain. I recommended we abandon this course of action. A report by Captain Aristide, tasked with investigating the assassination of Queen Madrigal of Antiva.
Inquisition, huh? I wish to holy Andraste you'd gotten here sooner. These Tevinters make my shoulder blades itch.
That's an interesting reaction to have.
Who are you?
Name's Tolwyn, formerly of the Circle of Magi in Hosberg. Lived my whole life there, since I was 10 years old and came into my magic. 3 meals a day, quality education, a roof over my head. If you're not summoning demons, a mage tower's a fine place to be.
If you were happy in the Circle, why are you here with the rebels?
We're all rebels now. The vote saw to that. The majority wanted to dissolve the circles. The rest of us went with them or were cut loose.
There are still some of us who are loyal in the Empress's court.
I figured I'm better off with my fellow mages than on my own.
You're not happy with this new alliance?
Something's not right about that lot. They're not like us. Magic or no, I'd rather count myself among decent folk than stand with magisters.
How did the Grand Enchanter end up working with Tevinter?
1 minute, we were bracing for the Templars to attack. The next, we had a Magister ally. It was a stroke of luck that's given us an edge. In a way. Out of the frying pan.
Goodbye.
Be careful. The Tevinters likely aren't happy you're asking questions.
The annulment at Daresmuid. When we heard of the injustices against our fellow mages at the White Spire, the Circle of Magi in Verroyaux, I feared what was to come. Our circle at Daresmuid is small and isolated. It exists largely as a facade to appease the Chantry. When the other circles rose up, the Chantry sent seekers across the bay from Aisley to investigate. They found us mixing freely with our families, training female mages in the traditions of the seers, and denounced us as apostates. Perhaps they thought we were spineless rogues who could be intimidated with a little bloodshed. Before I was in First Enchanter, I was the daughter of Captain Revon of the Felicissima Armada. I know how to plan a battle. They brought with them a small army of Templars. We fought. And we might have won. But they invoked the right of annulment with all the unrelenting brutality that allowed. It is their right to put screaming apprentices to the sword, burn our tainted libraries, crush irreplaceable artifacts under their heels, tear down the very walls of our home. No mage has the right to disagree. We of the Daresmuid Circle wait now, behind barricades. I have sent word to our brothers and sisters, sister mages of this outrage. When they break through, we will not die alone. Final journal entry of First Enchanter Rivella, slain in Daresmuid, 940 dragon. Apparently I could say Dwaresman, and I can't say it. I couldn't say anything through that. This is really testing my ability to sight read. Seers in the Allsmet, 23rd of Herventus. When I set out for the capital of Rivain, I did not anticipate arriving in the middle of a little provincial festival. The streets are thick with fishermen and farmers coming in from the countryside for some gathering. Rural life apparently breeds fierce rivalries. I've seen more than one fistfight erupt in the square outside the inn. And do they call this music? Excellent wine, however, it must be uneven. 24th of Ferventus. The agreement is sealed. The merchant had more jewelry on his head than Orlesian women do on their fingers, but anyone willing to sell me silk at this price may dress how they please. Sabal, whose title is Anain, is an amiable sort who offered to show me Allsmeet tonight, or Allsmet. Apparently, the village leaders, hedge mages they dub seers, travel to Daresmuid twice a year to meet in council, forge trade agreements, and publicly pledge loyalty to Rivain's queen. Deals made at Allsmet are seen as especially auspicious. Sabal warned me that sometimes hotheads will attempt to settle old feuds before these seers decree binding judgments here, but there are also feasts, lavish gift-giving ceremonies, musical contests, and other rustic nonsense. This explains the rabble. Still, it might be amusing to sample the local color. I've just witnessed a loudly public exchange between two men trying to outdo each other with ridiculous boasts in the square. The most extravagant lyre was applauded and decorated with wreaths by the crowd. The Rivaini are lively, I'll grant them that, and not at all afraid to drink with a Deventer. Ha! Peasant oath threatened me after I tripped into him at feast. Bit of fire cowed him. Impressed ladies, too. What enlightened attitudes. These people have. Fantastic's lovely dancers here. But remember, get vintage from Innkeep. Label with blue. 26th of Ferventus. Find out who's sleeping on top of me. Bring more robes next year. From the diary of Bescorus of Virentium. 932 dragon. So this is looking like a great place to stop, so I will say Auf Wiedersehen. Don't forget to like and subscribe below, or leave a comment if you wish, and we will see you in the next episode.